We're looking at a Toyota 2GR-FE 3.5-liter V6. This engine overheated and blew its head gaskets. So we've removed it from the car. We've stripped out all of its components and transferred them to a replacement engine, which we put back in the car. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I want to tell you about today is about an issue that affects many of these 2GR-FE engines, and it is the variable valve timing cam gear rattle, okay, the death rattle of the VVT gears. And Toyota has Technical Service Bulletin T-SB that identifies this problem, and it calls for the replacement of the VVT gears, as well as the camshafts and the VVT solenoids and a lot of other stuff. So this is their fix, and it's a very laborious and expensive fix. And it's true that in some cases the VVT gears do get damaged and they do need to get replaced. But, however, I have found another possible cause for the VVT rattle, and it has a very simple fix. So that's what I'm going to tell you about today, and it's an almost miraculously simple fix. So there are two parts to this fix, and one part you can do without opening the engine, without going under the valve cover. And I'm going to show you that first. Okay, so the VVT rattle can be due to low oil pressure in the VVT gears. And to counteract that, we have to remove anything that impedes the flow of the oil into the gears. So the oil goes into the valve cover through this VVT line right here, and it has a banjo bolt that we will remove. Okay, you see that this is milky coolant mixed with oil, chocolate milk. This is due to the overheating. But what I want to draw to your attention is this little filter here. Okay, so all of the oil has to flow through this filter. If this filter is clogged, then it's going to reduce the flow of oil and the oil pressure. So number one thing to do is to remove this filter and clean it off. You can use brake cleaner to clean off the filter and unclog it. The next thing we look at is these VVT solenoids, oil control valves, as Toyota calls them. And oil has to pass through these passages in the solenoids, and these can be clogged up. So what you can do is to remove these oil control valves or solenoids, and again you clean up these passages using brake cleaner just to get them free of any debris or sludge. So that's the first part of this fix, which is to look at the filter for the oil and at the oil control valves. The next part, we go under the valve cover. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use this rubber mallet to there we go. Just a little persuasion with the rubber mallet does the trick. Okay, so now what I want to point out to you is how the oil flows. It flows into the valve cover, then it comes out of these openings here and goes through the cam caps, through these passages, and it goes into the camshafts, and from there it goes into the VVT gears. All right, these are the VVT gears. This is the timing chain here, primary chain. This is the secondary chain for this bank. And if you wanted to replace the VVT gears, you'd have to loosen the timing chain, undo the caps for the camshafts, and get the camshafts out to replace the cam gears. There's no way to replace these on the car without removing the timing cover, so you'd have to remove them. But that's not what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to focus on these O-rings right here. There's one double O-ring on this camshaft. There's another double O-ring on this camshaft. And there's a single O-ring over on this cam cap at the end. So what I discovered and how I discovered this is I had a car in the shop that had the VVT rattle, and we were talking about trying to fix it, but first we wanted to do the valve cover because the valve cover was leaking. So we did the valve cover gasket, and these O-rings right here, they come as part of the valve cover gasket kit. So when you replace the valve cover gasket, it is suggested that you replace these O-rings. So we did replace these O-rings, put the valve cover back on, and when we started up the car, the VVT rattle was gone, and it has not reappeared since. Okay, so this seemed to indicate that these O-rings, when they get old and brittle and they harden and they start to leak, then they can contribute to the VVT rattle. And if you replace these O-rings and you restore the proper seal for the oil passages, then you get the correct level of oil pressure in the cam gears, and the VVT rattle is gone. Okay. So if you have an engine that has the VVT rattle, it is not guaranteed that fixing these O-rings is going to eliminate it, but it's a good place to start, because if it does work, then you've saved yourself a lot of expense and a lot of labor, and you've solved the problem. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.